Welcome to today's episode of Heard and Seen Around. I am Rajesh Karipurath. This is my take on macroeconomic and geoeconomic data points, which I find interesting. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed curating it. Cheers.
The difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has its limits. Albert Einstein: if at first you don't succeed, then skydiving definitely isn't for you. Stephen Wright: anyone who lives within their means suffers from a lack of imagination. Oscar Wilde: education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. Albert Einstein: I love deadlines. I love the whooshing noise they make as they go by. Douglas Adams.
The AI debate is no longer about technology, it's about employment. According to recent estimates, 24% of global jobs, around 838 million positions, are exposed to generative AI. But here's the twist. The richest economies have the most to lose. High-income countries face exposure of roughly 33% of jobs versus just 11% in low-income economies. Why? AI thrives on repetitive, predictable, screen-based work, the kind of jobs that dominate modern offices. Meanwhile, plumbers, electricians, nurses, and construction workers are suddenly looking at a lot less replaceable than PowerPoint experts. The most exposed regions are Europe and Central Asia at 32%, followed by the Americas at 30%. In March 2022, Byju was India's startup superstar. Valued at $22 billion, the country's most valuable private company and a symbol of India's tech ambitions. Fast forward just 4 years and a Singapore court has sentenced founder Byju to 6 months in jail in a contempt case. Between those two dates came a staggering sequence. Aggressive acquisitions, a $1.2 billion term loan, mounting losses, auditor exits, lawsuits, layoffs, insolvency proceedings, and battles with lenders across continents. The story isn't really about edtech, it's about what happens when valuation growth outruns business fundamentals. A company can raise billions, but eventually cash flow gets a vote. For investors, it's a reminder that a $22 billion valuation is not a destination, it's an expectation. And expectations can be very expensive. If flight tickets feel more expensive and harder to find this June, it's not your imagination. Indian Airlines have scheduled 7% fewer domestic flights, cutting weekly departures from 22,220 to 20,670. That's 1,550 fewer flights every week. With major hubs like Hyderabad, 371 flights, Bangalore 293, Chennai 279, and Bombay 253 seeing the biggest reductions. The biggest casualty has been Air India, down 28% year on year, while Akasa is the only major airline expanding capacity, up 11%. What's interesting is that a conflict thousands of kilometers away in West Asia is now affecting domestic travel within India. Everyone talks about AI writing emails and making PowerPoints. The bigger story may be what's happening inside factories. Already 51% of manufacturers have either deployed AI at scale or are actively scaling it, while another 43% are experimenting with pilots. AI isn't just answering questions, it's helping factories make decisions real time. The biggest gains are in replacing workers, they're improving operations. 46% cite faster decision making, 39% cite better energy efficiency, and 36% improved safety, and 34% fewer machine breakdowns. That's an important distinction. In offices, AI often targets knowledge work. On factory floors, it's increasingly becoming a productivity tool. For all the worries about slowing growth, India's credit data is telling a different story. As of March 2026, industrial credit growth has accelerated to 15.1%, one of its strongest readings in years. Services lending is growing at 18.6%, while personal loans have rebounded to 16%. Even agriculture credit is expanding at nearly 14%. The interesting part is a mix. A few years ago, the economy leaned heavily on retail borrowing. Now industry is back in the game. When factories, infra projects, and businesses start borrowing alongside consumers, it usually points to broader economic momentum. Just 2 years ago, India was a market everyone wanted to own. In 2026, the spotlight has moved north. South Korea's KOSPI is up a staggering 91% YTD, while Taiwan has gained 50%. Compare that with India's Nifty 50 down 8.5%, and you can see where global capital has been booking tickets. The reason? Investors are chasing the AI supply chain. Korea and Taiwan sit at the heart of semiconductors, memory chips, and advanced manufacturing, the picks and shovels of the AI boom. India still has a growth story, but this year the market has preferred earnings leverage to AI over long-term potential.